Hello, welcome to Sportsbet TV. Paul Alster here. Very pleased indeed to be with you as I look forward to racing on Saturday at Musselburgh, where I have two free selections for you on this service. Do press the subscribe button if you join me for the first time, and then you'll be able to keep in touch with all my free selections on a service where I strive to try and find horses that are decent, sometimes very big each way prices. And that train of thought has seen me provide very good profits for all my regular followers throughout each and every season since July 2020, and indeed each calendar year as well. Well, last Saturday, I gave you a couple of selections. Max of Stars ran really well. She did. She was second to the odds-on favourite at Doncaster, a rock-solid each-way place there. But the other horse, Railway Hurricane, didn't shine this time. He was unplaced. Now, overall, the month of January saw us making a marginal profit of just £2 to the recommended stakes. But of course, that's better than a loss, as we all know. Indeed, if you want to check out the latest profit and loss, they've all been updated, and you'll see that the service has continued to do really well over the last 6 or 7 months, and I'm very proud of that indeed. However, if you had taken the opportunity to sign up for my Out in Front service, which has been going great guns over at Patreon, and you can find the link to sign up in the description box below the screen. If you had taken the opportunity to sign up last Friday, you would have been absolutely quids in, because having tipped a 14-1 winner with just one selection on the Friday, my 4 selections on Saturday at Out in Front produced 3 winners and a treble at 449-1 at the recommended odds of 9-1, 8-1, and 4-1. So that really is something I wish many of you have been able to jump on and get a really big profit to build up your bank ahead of the Cheltenham Festival. And just for good measure, on Sunday, I had just the one selection, tipped each way, and that managed to run into the money at 10-1. So grabbing a place. Well, just last weekend's results at Out in Front paid for the whole annual subscription for every subscriber. And it's a shame, really a shame to miss out. £25 each way. There is no tie-in fee. You can come and go as you please, but nobody's leaving. People are joining because they're aware that my advice has been very good of late and overall in general, but in particular, we're having a great run as we close in only 5 weeks away now from the Cheltenham Festival. So think hard about joining. You can still join up now to get my tips for Saturday and, of course, Sunday with the Dublin Festival, 2 days at Leopardstown. Great racing at Musselburgh both days, and of course Saturday as well at Sandown Park and elsewhere. Right, let me take you on to the first of the 2 selections that I have for you at Musselburgh. The first race is the 2:15, a 3 mile 7 furlong handicap chase, the International. It's going to be generally good to start ground with 13 runners. They're not expecting much rain, so I think it'll be genuine good to soft ground. Real stamina test though, over close to 4 miles. And one horse who has already passed this test is last year's winner, Magna Sam for Alster Ralph, who's back to try and repeat the feat. Last year, he beat Captain Catterstock off a £4 lower mark. And it's fair to assume, I think, that Connections probably have had this race in the back of the mind for him since then. He's just had the one run, and that was back in November. And that should hopefully have put him right. He's a horse that tends to go well fresh. And I can see him being thereabouts again. Now, there's already been a market move for the Irish Raider Peaches and Cream, trained by Gavin Cromwell. It was put in early at 6-1, and now it's down 7-2. So that, I think, is worth noting. In fact, I'm just looking now, and there appears to be some gaps in the price of Trucker's Lodge, so I'm not sure if that one might be a possible non-runner. But that apart, Peaches and Cream has already been very well backed. The ground is ripe for this 9-year-old who won the BMW handicap chase in similar conditions over this trip at Barnaviddaun last year, and also shaped really well when fifth to stable companion Melina Girl at Cheltenham in November. Now, another one attracting money is Lucinda Russell's Inishore. Only his 5th start over fences, a good second here earlier in the season over 3 miles, and then it ran respectably when 5th in the Lincolnshire National at Market Raisin last time. It's also got a first-time visor on to sharpen it up. Now, the Lincolnshire National was won by the Fergal O'Brien train London Calling, who's back to try and win the Edinburgh National as well. Got up in a driving finish there, 4 of them in a line with 100 yards to run. Only gone up £3 as a result. Sure to be on the premises. Along with the likes of the consistent Universal Folly for Nicky Richards, who's having a great season. And of course, you can never rule out Paul Nicholls. And he has a potentially well-handicapped horse in Willow, who, if he were to recapture some of his form, he'd be absolutely chucked in. My selection, though, is a horse called Brandy McQueen, trained by Harriet Graham and Graham Rutherford, and the amount of Brian Hughes, the champion jockey. A fascinating contender, I think, stepping up markedly in distance on only its 4th run over fences. It is a 4-time winner over hurdles and up to 3¼ miles, so it's a proper stayer. And indeed, 2 of its victories have come here at Musselburgh over 3 miles, so no worries about the track. Now, Brandy McQueen made a great start to chasing when winning on debut over fences at Kelso in October by 19 lengths in a novice handicap chase over 3 miles. And then, somewhat surprisingly, they decided to drop back in trip over 2½ miles on soft ground, both of which are not ideal for him. That was at Carlisle. But he didn't run badly, finishing 3rd, but it was too sharp a trip. Now, at Doncaster last time, he ran too bad to be true, something obviously wrong. I don't know what it was, but it's prompted a change of jockey here with Brian Hughes taking over from Ryan Manning. It's been dropped £2 since that run, and now is just £2 higher than its 9th win at Kelso earlier in the season. Now, I think there's a decent chance that Brandy McQueen might just find more improvement over this marathon trip. And when I made my notes this afternoon, Brandy McQueen was 20-1, but they've already started to find this horse in the market, and he's now down to 12-1. 12-1 Brandy McQueen, each way for 4 places with many firms. Now, maybe it'll drift back out again, but 12-1 still a very decent price. And I think he's got a sporting chance if he stays on this first trip at a marathon. I suspect he might run rather well. Now, my second choice at Musselburgh is in one of the minor races there, the 4 o'clock race. This is a 2 mile 7 furlong handicap chase on the good soft ground. There are just the 9 runners. I think, though, it is still an interesting contest. The sponsors were the ones up early, Bet365, but now everybody else has joined in. And at the time of this recording, we've got a pretty solid market. Now, the one that is favourite at 3-1 is the Brian Ellison-trained Angler's Crag. This one has won at Carlisle and Market Raisin. He's gone up a total of £9, and I think should still be competitive. Another horse on a hat-trick is Don McCain's Carton. His wins have come at up to 2½ miles. He has to prove he can go that 3 furlongs further here. And he's gotten up a total of £10 for those 2 wins. If he stays, then you'd have to say he won't be far away. Lucinda Russell, who, of course, trains in central Scotland, Britain's most northerly based trainer. She's got Ready Steady Bow, who I think could be the biggest danger to the selection here. Having really impressed when it won with plenty in hand over 3 miles at Ayr last time on soft ground. He's gone up £7, but there appear to be plenty left in the tack at Ayr, and he's got the excellent rider Patrick Wadge on board, a jockey that I think is really going to make the grade. I think the drying ground also is, rather the drying ground is the only thing I think that could be a slight negative, because he does like to get his toe in. So if there's any showers that happen to hit Musselburgh before race time, it can only help his cause. And then we've got Half Shot for Ian Jardine, horse that stays very well and won over the course and distance in November, now £6 higher. He probably found the 2½ miles last time here a bit sharp for him, and I think it'd be much more comfortable back at this trip. But my selection is a horse called Masini Man. It's trained by Sandy Thompson, the former very talented rugby union player, and a very talented trainer as well, as we know. And he's got Danny McMenamin on, who's a good jockey. And I take Massini Man to get back on track, having fallen last time out at Kelso 2 out when he was looking as though he was going to be a real player. He's only won twice in his career over fences, this 11-year-old, but notably, both those wins have been at Musselburgh, once over 2.5 miles in November of 2022, and then over 3 miles in January last year off a mark of 103 when he hacked up by 11 lengths. Now, he shaped well on his seasonal return over the inadequate 2 miles when third at Carlisle in November prior to that tumble at Kelso last time. Assuming that he's none the worse for the fall, and I'm sure Sandy Thomas would be running him if he wasn't 100%, I think he can go really well. He's actually a market drifter. He was put in at 6-1 early doors. He's now across the board 8-1. So 8-1 Massini Man each way is my choice in the 4 o'clock at Musselburgh. If you're interested in the 4 selections I have posted down in front, then think long and hard about joining us by pressing on the link in the description box just below this screen. As I said earlier, such a shame you weren't with us for what proved to be a hugely profitable day last Saturday and has set us up for 2024. I'll be back same time next week at Sportsbet with more free advice, and I hope very much you'll be joining me. Have a great weekend. Bye-bye for now.